When I was 7, I was in a car accident and was diagnosed with a spinal cord injury. All the doctors told me I would never be able to walk again, but I'm going to tell you guys why they were wrong. Okay, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This was a really highly requested video to explain basically my story and journey with why I wasn't able to move my legs to now being able to walking on my own and sort of just doing gait training. So like I said, when I was 7, I was in a car accident and was diagnosed with a spinal cord injury. Now, I wasn't paralyzed, so when you're paralyzed, your nerves are basically cut, but my nerves are just damaged. Obviously, you don't know exactly which specific nerves are damaged, but you can tell by the way that your muscle is reacting and the certain exercises you can do. Also, I'm going to see how good this audio is. I just decided to film it outside today. It's literally raining, but I was just feeling the vibe. So if the camera fogs up a bit, ignore that. I just really like the atmosphere like this. If the camera fogs up, just ignore that. I just really like the atmosphere outside, and I feel like it adds to the effect. So before I start saying the story, I just want to say that do not pity me, please. Everyone goes through hard things in life. Like, I'm so happy it happened. Everything happens for a reason. And there is the wind. This is why I have headphones on, and hopefully it'll pick up my audio and not the wind's audio. Anyways, basically, when I was 7, I was in this car accident, got diagnosed with a spinal cord injury, and couldn't move my legs, could basically not control hip under at all. And the doctors were like, she's going to be on a wheelchair for the rest of her life. Get used to that. Get used to dealing with the difficulties of that. And they basically did not believe in me, but everything was against my side. And I'm telling you guys this story so you can realize that you can defy the odds and miracles do happen, and that God is great. And if you don't believe in God, then the universe, whatever you believe in, but God is great, and that He will provide for you. He will provide for you much better than you think. And so many people think in lack, which is like, you're just thinking, oh, I can't get this. And you just think that all these small things. And I was too young to really comprehend it and think, oh, I'm not going to walk again. I didn't really think about it like that. So I was lucky that this happened to me at such a young age where I couldn't really comprehend it. Because I think if it happened to me at an older age, it would have been really harder on my mind, right? But when you're young, you just kind of go through it. You don't really realize what's happening. Like, there are pictures of me smiling, playing games, all those things. Like, don't think that when something bad happens to you, just the world is falling apart. Like, as you can see, it really, really changed me as a person. I persevere so much. I feel like it changed me. I matured a lot earlier, which I'm not necessarily saying is a great thing, but I'm more mature now for my age, and it made me a lot wiser, more of like empathetic. Like, everyone's empathetic to a certain extent, but it made me to the point where I can like feel other people's emotions with them, which I personally think is a blessing. Of course, like, for some people it can be difficult, but I think it really helps me give amazing advice. That's why I love to do these advice videos. It helps me give amazing advice, and it allows me to help others, which I love to do. And as well, so basically I was just doing intensive therapy. I believe in the beginning it was, and again, this is just off of memory, because obviously this was 10 years ago and I was so young, so I don't really remember it a bunch, but I think I was doing therapy about every day. There were a bunch of different programs at the hospital, so for you to meet other kids. So for example, there was one where we would play card games and we would just talk about, I remember talking about like our story and the different accidents we got into. And there was one girl who I think was about 17 based on my memory, but she really could have been younger. But again, at the time I was 7. So right now she would have been my age, but now she's probably like in her 20s, which is crazy to think about. But she had told me her story. I'm not going to share it, but it was very different than mine. And she also had a spinal cord injury, I believe, something similar. So there were a lot of, I'm going to maybe insert photos randomly in here if I can figure that out. I'm not very good with tech, but I'll try and do that. I'll insert a picture of the car here if I can figure that out. If not, oh well. So basically I would do therapy a bunch, and I'm going to try and explain this. I'm not a doctor, but you know, at this point, with all the knowledge I have on this, I could probably be a physiotherapist. Don't get offended by me saying that. Okay, it's a joke. Basically, because I wasn't paralyzed, my nerves were just damaged. So when your muscle contracts, your nerves touch, obviously, right? It's your brain sending the signal. When you're paralyzed, they're cut like completely. But when it's not, oh my gosh, the cat. When it's not paralyzed, your nerves are just more damaged. So the more you exercise, the easier it's going to be for them. So you exercise, they're slowly getting closer together. So you just need to work that muscle. They even did like nerve stimulation. Now I'm doing it more in Spain because the technology they have here is more advanced for that. But they even did this little like gel pad thing, and they'd stick it on my leg or whatever they needed to stimulate. And it hurt so bad. And they had like this bike thing. So I would like do the bike, like stable, like the stationary bike, not stable, the stationary bike. And I would work on that, and I would have that on it as well. And maybe it's because I was young, but it hurt so much. Like I hated it more than anything. Other than that, most of the therapy consisted of exercises and training my muscles. And really, like, maybe you guys obviously won't relate to my story. It's very specific, but you can take this and apply it to any situation. The doctors, literally science was against me. Most people who get into a spinal cord injury don't recover. Most of them stay in the wheelchair for the rest of their life, even if they do therapy for years and years and years. But most of my recovery happened within the first year, because that's usually what goes with injuries in the first year. So I went from not being able to move my legs, and I was using a wheelchair, and I remember I was laying in that hospital bed for 2 weeks, guys, like no movement. And like imagine that, like, guys, like I can barely spend like a day just sitting in my room. No one does that. Like you go out, you walk around the house, you go outside, something, like touch grass. Like you can't, like 2 weeks laying in that hospital bed. And when they went to put me on the wheelchair, I remember it hurt so bad. Like I was crying. Again, I was young, like maybe I was exaggerating. It really did hurt a lot, because of course, if you lay somewhere for 2 weeks straight, of course you're not going to want to like get up. That's going to hurt your body, and your body isn't used to it, let alone the fact that I couldn't move my legs, right? And I never lost sensation, which is a really, really good thing, because when you're paralyzed, you lose sensation. Like someone will touch you, or you can't tell the difference, for example, between sharp and dull. So I don't know if you guys have seen those videos, but they'll take like a little pin or something, touch you, and then your eyes will be closed, and they'll be like, is it dull? Is it sharp? Whatever. And they used to do that with me, and I was completely fine. Alhamdulillah. Very, very lucky. Essentially, I would do this therapy over and over again until eventually I was able to use a walker, and then crutches. And then eventually I started taking my first steps on my own for the second time. And then eventually walking on my own. But when I walk, if you know me in real life, I limp a little bit to my left side, right? And this is because, so basically my right leg is actually stronger than my left leg. No idea why. And it's probably just more nerves were damaged on that side of my back. And as well, I did develop scoliosis from the spinal cord injury, right? And if you don't know what scoliosis is, it's basically you have a curve in your back. So it could be an S curve or a C curve. I have an S curve. I remember that, like S stands for Senna. So cute, right? But basically I had scoliosis, but then now recently I had an x-ray, and it showed that the curve was 10 degrees, meaning like 10 degrees is usually like the cutoff. They're like 10 degrees. If you have like 10 degrees, that's like kind of normal kind of scoliosis. You're like right in the middle. So in a sense, I don't have scoliosis anymore. So that's another great news. And I just really want you guys to just believe in the fact that your life, like you can make so much with your life. Like you create your reality, and God wants the best for you. You just need to work hard. You just need to like, I don't understand how people don't make the most of their life. Like you are so lucky to even be alive. The fact that you're alive is like such a blessing. Life in itself is a blessing, just to be alive. Like don't count your gratitude. This is a bit off topic, but really it all connects if you just picture. Don't count your gratitude on how many things I have, right? Just because you're alive. Like of course it's great to be like, oh, I have a safe home, I have warm food, but you're alive. Like not everyone in the world can say it. Well, everyone in the world can say it, but you get the point. Like there's a lot of people who never even had the chance to live. So the fact that you're alive and you get to say you're alive is an amazing thing. And the fact that one day you would be dead is a great thing, because you have to live to be dead. So really I am grateful that this happened to me. You just need to take anything that is out of your control, anything that happened to you that's out of your control. You have to make the absolute best of it. I'm so lucky that this happened to me. I can't imagine what my life would be like if this didn't happen to me, you know? Maybe I would be doing a bunch of other different things, or maybe this is saving me from a bigger injury, for example. The fact that this accident happened to me could be saving me from so many things that I don't know about, but I trust in God and God's plan for me, and whatever that this prevented from happening, or whatever this is going to change in my character development or change for me as a person, I trust in that, because I can already see, and I can tell you guys for a fact that if this accident didn't happen, I wouldn't be who I am today. I feel like I'm like I said earlier, I'm so much more empathetic than like the average person, of course, because I've gone through something like that. And because I'm able to say, you know what, I used to not be able to move my legs, and now I can walk completely on my own. And I do still have this limp, but I am in Spain right now. That's not the reason I live between Spain and Canada, but that's one thing that Spain has to offer is the technology. So I'm doing nerve stimulation and exercises and everything like that. I go to therapy every day, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, depends. Today, for example, I did 4 needles in one leg. I did a machine, and I think that's all we did. And she like worked for my back pain, because I've been getting a bit of back pain. It's normal because it's from the exercises probably and the amount of stimulation, so I guess it's a good thing. But you just need to realize that you can defy the odds and miracles happen. Like they literally used to call me the miracle girl at the hospital, because no one thought I would be able to walk after. Imagine not being able to move your legs. Like, you can't imagine that. That's unfathomable. Like, not be like, I can't imagine right now I just can't move my arm. Like, that is just so weird for me to think. Like, what? Like, how can you just not move your arm, right? Like, I wasn't able to move my legs at all, or my feet at all. And now I can literally walk. Like, I can hold my body up and walk. Like, how crazy is that? Think about it. It's crazy. And life is full of these miracles. Like, you do not know what the next day has in store for you. You don't. Like, do you really think 7-year-old me was like, oh yeah, I can't move my legs? Yeah, I can imagine myself in a year walking on my own, or I can imagine myself in 10 years walking on my own and still improving in 10 years, still improving and doing therapy and working hard towards that. I didn't give up. Never give up. It's been 10 years and I still every day am putting into this. Every single day I go to therapy. I work 1, 2, 3 hours sometimes. I exercise for an hour sometimes, or I'll have needles. I hate needles. Who cares? I will literally put in whatever it takes, whatever effort it takes. I will do my exercises. I will do all of this if it means for me to recover. If you really want something, you will work hard for it. There's no such thing as like, I don't have time. I'm too tired. Girl, what? What do you mean you're too tired? Like, what are you here on this world for other than to improve on yourself? That's literally enjoy your life and improve on yourself, because that is the one thing that will make you so happy. If you're constantly progressing, enjoy the journey, don't enjoy the result. Do you guys think that if this whole time I was like, once I'm able to run, I'll be happy, once I'm able to run, so then what, I would have spent these last 10 years of my life miserable? Does that make any sense to you? No, I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying the little improvements of when I see the therapist and she'll tell me, oh my god, yeah, your walk looks a little bit better, a tiny bit better. I don't care. It makes me happy. The tiny progressions make me keep going, and they make me realize, you know what, if these tiny progressions build up, then what will it result in? Of course, like success. Like, everyone started somewhere. Like, all these rich CEOs, like, where do you think they were one day? Not rich, like, of course. Like, I want you guys to understand that this is like, so many people pity me when I say this, or so many people are scared to ask me, and I understand because some people might be sensitive about situations like this, but I'm so fine with sharing this story, and I love sharing it too, because I feel like it motivates others, and I just want you guys to understand that you can do anything. Like, literally nothing is impossible. I don't care if I sound like Barbie right now. Nothing is impossible. Like, really, genuinely. Like, science was against me. The doctors were against me. The only people that were with me was my family and myself, and probably my friends. I mean, I was 7. I don't really remember who my friends were at the time. But my family obviously were like my biggest supporters, and God, obviously. So everyone can be against you. The doctors were literally against me. They were like, yeah, girl, like, get used to the wheelchair. It's not gonna happen. Everything they said was gonna happen didn't happen. And I'm not saying every single doctor there, it's possible that some didn't, again, a long time ago, but you really need to take your wins as loss and losses as wins. Like, people always say, oh, what was like the worst thing that happened to you? Like, I genuinely can't think of a thing. I can't think of a thing, because nothing that happens to me is bad. Everything happens for a reason. Even if I do something and it turned out bad, it happened for a reason. Like, you guys get so caught up on these tiny mistakes in life, or on these things you can't control. You'll be like, oh, wow, it's raining today. What a terrible life. Are you kidding me? You guys need to learn to just look at everything and appreciate it. Like, if I look around me right now, like, look how beautiful all this greenery is. Like, it's just so pretty. It's just so pretty. And today it rained, and you know what, someone might think, oh, you know, now I can't go out of the house. You know, we were planning on going to maybe like some souvenir shops. I wanted to buy some stuff for my friends. I was like, oh, I can't do that anymore. What should we do? And I didn't really want to go to the mall. I didn't feel like walking. And then I was like, oh, you know, it would be so fun if I went to the beach at night and like it's raining or whatever. And I went there, I got some nice photos, and then I ended up looking in the rocks and found some sea glass. Anyways, I think the wind literally turned off my video. I don't know what I was talking about, but we're gonna move on to the next subject. Also, I feel like there's so many people who are lazy out there, you know? And I want you to know that, of course, I have those days where I'm like, I don't want to do my exercises, and I don't do them. And that's completely fine sometimes, because, you know what, I'm balancing school and I'm balancing all these things, and that's okay. But you have to realize that I can't let myself do that every day. If I let myself skip my exercises every single day, or like for a week or months, well, who is there to blame when I don't recover? Me. Of course it's me. I can't not do anything and then just pray for it, and then just, you know, go to therapy and be like, okay, I did everything I could. No, you didn't. You could have done your exercises every day at home. You probably would have recovered a little bit faster, don't you think? Of course. If you put the effort into it, it's gonna happen. What do you think? Do you think that if you put all this effort in and you do your exercises every day, or let's say you work out and you eat healthy or balanced for a while, for a month, you think you're not gonna achieve health, you're not going to get clearer skin. Like, let's think about how would it not happen to you if you put the effort in and you do everything you can do. Of course it's going to happen. Of course there are situations where it's out of your hands sometimes. You know, maybe you're not going to get your dream job. Okay, what if an even better job is going to come your way? You don't know. You don't know. Stop thinking you know everything. Oh wow, this is just so scary. God knows what's best for you, and He knows the plan for you. He knows everything. How do you think you know better than Him? Think about it. How do you think you know better than God? And you might think, no, of course I've never said that. Okay, but your actions can imply that you think that. Like, I've seen a lot of things where it's like, oh, you trust like a random guy to fly your flight and get you safe in like 10 hours. You just sleep there. You just sleep so comfortably. But you don't trust God, the creator of the universe and everything, and He created you, and you think you know better. It's not adding up. And I understand, of course, nobody actually thinks that, but you struggle to trust Him in things when you lose somebody. Maybe you lose a friend, and you're like, oh my God, my life is terrible. Wow, I really needed this friend. God, why would you do this to me? Are you that like slow, really? Think about it. Why would you lose that friend? God heard conversations you did, and God knows the intent of this person with you, and God knows who's meant to be in your life. So you just pray to God. You pray, remove all the bad people from my life, please. Please bring me good people. All these things, okay? I just don't understand. Anyways, that was off topic, but same principle. Like, I can pray to God, and I can just go to therapy and do all these things. Will it happen? Maybe not, because I'm not putting the full effort in. If I put the full effort in and then I pray to God, God's going to be like, she's working hard for this, and this is what's meant for her, so I'm going to get it. If it's meant for me, I'll get it. If not, then I won't get it, no matter what. If it's not meant for me, it won't happen. It's just the way it is. That's the way life is. And as well, you guys, like, so many people have hardships in their life, and they crack. They think it's over. Haven't you heard that, like, after you get through a hardship, how amazing your life can start to get? Once you get through these hardships, one after the other, the more you've gone through, the easier life gets for you, the stronger of a person you become, and the better of a person you become. If you can get through these hardships and show truly your intent as a person through these tests, you get through these tests, and you show that you're a good person, do you understand how much you'll change as a person, how much you'll develop? Like, if you need to take hardships as a blessing. What happened to me, was a blessing. Okay, I'm going to go into a little more detail about it. So, I was obviously in the backseat because I was 7. I did get, I believe, a cut on my intestine, and I had to get stitches like on my stomach. It was like a little bit, and then as well on my foot. She literally stitched that while I was awake. I was like, okay, I guess I'm just going to watch you stitch my foot. That's nice. It was just a tiny cut. It doesn't even show anymore, but those were the only like stitches I had to get. And luckily, I never had to get metal in my spine. A lot of people think, like, oh, if you get metal in your spine, you're fine. It'll solve your issue. Like, usually people are in my situation. They're hoping that the doctors say they don't have to get metal in their spine, because that is going to cause a lot of problems as you grow up, of course, because that's just not natural. And so it's going to end up causing a lot of problems. But, of course, naturally, some people do have to end up doing it, and that's just what they have to do. And it's completely fine, and they can work around it. But luckily, I didn't have to do that. And, yeah, now I do still limp a little bit, but my therapist have been telling me I'm improving in that, and that one of my therapists said that, like, my hip was less in. For example, when I walk and I go like this and I limp, my hip like almost crosses over. He said I was doing that less, and he hadn't seen me for like since last July. So usually, like, you know when your friends don't see you for a while and they're like, "Why, I haven't seen you in a while, you changed so much." They can notice that difference, obviously, right? Whereas someone who sees you every day, it's harder for them to notice that. So obviously now I'm really striving to, inshallah, be able to, stop limping when I walk one day. And geez, it is getting cold. Why did I film this outside? But yeah, that's obviously the goal, inshallah, and eventually from there, see if I can, start walking faster, doing all these things, jumping. I can jump now, but it's like about yay high. But at the end of the day, these aren't things that I need in life, but of course I'm going to work up to it. Why wouldn't I want myself to improve and my health to improve? When your physical health improves, then of course your mental health will improve and your physical appearance will improve. Things follow. Like when you work on your mental health, your physical appearance follows, your physical health follows. These are all intertwined, like your spiritual and your physical appearance and your like physical health. I think I already said that. But you get the point. Like when you work on your spiritual health and you become happier, and your mental health and you become happier, it shows in your face. You get like mood. You you're happier, and it shows, of course. Like, people will tell you, like, oh, like, you look better. Even my therapist was telling me that since I first came, I look like a lot brighter in my face. Like, I look happier with as my physical health is improving, my appearance was improving with it. And I don't know if that's true or not. Like, of course, when it's like yourself, it's kind of hard to tell. But I really want you guys to take this YouTube video. And I know not a lot of people view my videos usually, which is fine. For the 5 people who view it, I hope it makes an impact. I don't really care. I like talking about it, so that's all that matters. But I really, really, really want you to take this video and just reflect on your life. Like, I know, like, I feel like if I were to see a video like that, I'd be like, no, I'm fine. Thanks, like, I'm good, girl. But really, like, just reflect on your life and reflect on the next hardship that comes to you. Be like, how can I make myself not be so negative about it? Because think about it. The future you has it, so you, in a sense, already have it. You have it. The future you has it, so you have it. So why don't you work up to that? That's literally, like, you create the reality you want. I could be either stressed in this current reality, or I could be happy. If, let's say something happened out of my control. I'm going to create a fake scenario. Like, maybe my friend stops talking to me. Maybe me and my friend are on bad terms. Okay, what am I supposed to do about that? There's not much you can do in that situation, right? It depends on whose fault or whatever. But let's say my friend stops talking to me. Okay, I can either be stressed and sad about this, or I can be happy. Like, happy, just like live normally. And I'm not saying don't feel your emotions. That is very unhealthy. Never build up your emotions. Always feel your emotions. Feel sad about it, of course, but you can't spend months and months feeling sad about the same thing. Pick yourself up. This is your life. You can feel sad about it for a while, and that's completely fine. Feeling sad is a normal emotion. It's okay to cry. It's okay to get those emotions out. Otherwise, you're going to create yourself like an unhealthy buildup, and you're going to be like, it's going to be so unhealthy. You're going to be trying to be happy, but you're not. Don't force an emotion on yourself. It's okay to feel stressed. It's okay to cry it out. Much healthier. But it gets to a certain point where it's not healthy anymore. See, I was too young to even think of these emotions, right? I don't remember it. Like, I was too young, and it was a car accident, so probably my brain, like, I would assume, like, when something like that sort of traumatic happens to you and you're young, your brain doesn't really let you remember it, as that would probably be sad. Like, I don't really remember the accident happening. Like, people tell me what happened, I create images in my head, so I can't tell if these images are from what actually happened or from what I've heard in pictures, right? So, again, just, I want you guys to, like, turn your life around, you know, if you need to. But just realize that everything happens for a reason. Not everything is in your control. The only thing in control really is yourself and the way you react to things. So if you get a hold on your emotions and the way you react, your life is going to change a lot. If you control the way you react to things and your emotions, that is a life changer. Think about it. All of your problems come from the way you react to things. That's it. If you react to it well, or you take it the best way possible, then done. Because you wouldn't have to be sad about you losing that friend unless you wired your brain to think that way. Oh, I lost a friend, my life sucks. Or your brain could already be wired to where that sad emotion doesn't even come to you. You don't have to stop it because it's just not coming. Because in your head, you're just like, oh, okay. God thought she wasn't a blessing for me, and that's completely fine because now I know another friend is going to come my way eventually. Or maybe I don't even need friends right now. I don't know. God knows best. I'm going to trust him and just keep doing my thing. You wouldn't even have to stop that sad emotion or feel that sad emotion because you wire your brain. Mindset is everything. If you wire your brain to think a certain way, to think positive of every single thing that happens to you, then perfect, you're done. Mindset is everything in life. Mindset and gratitude, everything. If you are grateful for what you have, and if you have a mindset of a go-getter, you're going to keep going, keep going, keep going. It's not about whether, I feel like doing it, I don't feel like doing it. Okay. If you're going to let your emotions control you that much, then good luck getting anywhere in life. If you don't feel like working out or getting up in the morning, well, guess who's getting fired from their job? Guess who's missing the lessons at school that day? You. Now you're going to be behind. Now you're going to be stressed out. Or you could pick yourself up and go to school and be lucky, be grateful for the education you have and the friends you'll get to see and just the amazing world. Just be grateful for the fact that you woke up and wake up and make the best of that day. And of course, I'm a human too, okay? I've made mistakes. I've been sad before. Like, of course, I'm human. But I'm saying this to you with that experience and with the knowledge that if you just have a good mindset, if you change your mindset, and you can watch other videos like this video, like self-help videos, and just, you can defy the odds like I did. And I disproved science, I disproved the doctors, I disproved anybody who didn't believe in me. And you would think in that case the person I could trust the most was the doctors. And I could be like, okay, yeah, of course they've studied for years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever, depends on the type of doctor. 8 to 10 years, they told me something and they were wrong. Of course, they're human. It's fine. Science said she's not going to walk again. Good luck. You're going to be sitting on a wheelchair for the rest of your life and you're not going to be able to move your legs. Okay, well, I can walk now. So you can do whatever you put your mind to. You put that work in, and you might be thinking, oh, wow, 10 years in and she's still exercising. I don't feel like putting in that effort. Okay, sucks for you. Well, I wonder what your life could have been like if you did put in that effort. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I didn't really give much details on the accident itself, as it was obviously just one day. And then it was more about the journey that I'm going through right now. But I wanted it to be a little more applicable to you guys as well. And I wanted you to take a look at my story and what's happened to me. And a lot of people pity me for it and say, oh, that's so sad. It's not sad. What's sad about it? I got into a car accident. I don't think that's very sad. Like, okay, I lost the mobility of my legs. I gained it back. What's sad about that? It's amazing. It's really amazing. And it's really, I think, inspiring to others. So I just wanted to take my story and provide that for you guys. And I want you guys, anytime you're thinking, I can't do it, this is impossible, like literally everything is against me, like there's no way that this is going to happen. Okay, well, that's what everyone told me too. So you can decide whether you want to believe in yourself or believe in others. I don't know why you would believe in others over yourself, but if you want to do that, go ahead. But anytime you think something's impossible or you think something's going to be so hard, you have maybe tons of work to catch up on, you think you're not going to get into your dream university, just remember my story and the amount of effort I put in. If you work hard, you will get there, okay? I promise you. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.